Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I created this social media design for Moniepoint. It's a fictional design, by the way. I don't actually work for Moniepoint, but yeah, the major point of this design will be to explain how to achieve that glass glow effect that is behind the subject image. So as usual, I'd like you guys to like the video, drop a comment, subscribe, and of course share this video to other designers that I think will benefit from it. And without talking too much, let's get right into the video. So as usual, the first thing is to click on new file to create the file that we want. Our width and height is going to be 1080 by 1350. I'm going to click my artboards on, and I'll leave my resolution on 72. You can leave your other settings like mine and click on create. So once our artboard has been created, the first thing I'm going to do is to bring in our color palette. So as usual, all the assets I used for this design will be made available in the description box. Alright, so these are the assets. Okay, this is the color palette. I'm going to bring it in. Yeah, this dark blue, I don't think is actually part of the Moniepoint color palette, but I used it for the background anyway. So now we have our color palette. First thing I'm going to do is to create a gradient color adjustment layer. How did I create that? So click on this artboard, go down here, click on this, and then click on gradient. All right, so once you've clicked on gradient, you can now edit the gradient, right? So click on this I'm going to select this blue color here for the first one, and then for the second part and select this dark blue, and then I'll increase the opacity to 100. Click on OK. Click on OK. I'm going to drag that gradient into here. Okay, so I'm going to edit. So I have to edit this further. Sorry. Okay, so make sure that both sides are 100, and this side is the lighter blue, and this side is the darker blue. All right, so click on OK. So I'm going to put the angle at, let's say, -40, and I'll put the scale at something like 70, something like this. Let me adjust that scale a bit. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at 114 and -40, right? And yeah, I'll click on OK. So we have our background. That's good. The next thing I'll do is I'll bring in this image of the model, because I'll click OK, and I'll move her to the bottom. Alright, so the reason I'm bringing her image is because I want to use it to know where I'll place that glowing stuff at the back. So for the glowing stuff, I'll bring in this brush stroke. Yep, I don't know why it's taking time to load. Anyway, I'm bringing the brush stroke, and I'm going to change the color to white. Alright, now the color is white, so I'll press Ctrl T, and I'm now going to hold Shift and drag to adjust. Alright, to adjust the size. So I'm going to take it behind her, and I think I'll place this one somewhere here. Press Ctrl T. I think I'll hold Shift and increase the width a bit. So I'll just place it behind her like this. Alright, then I'll duplicate it. I'll hold Alt and drag to duplicate. Press Ctrl T, turn it, and sorry, I'll flip it. Basically, I want this bottom side to be here where our hand is. Okay, I'll just keep on adjusting it. Right, and then click OK. Alright, So now we have both of them placed. I can now hide her image. Alright, so now I have this place. I'll click on the topmost brush and I'll press Ctrl Shift Alt E to create a snapshot of all the layers. And I'll click on it and convert it to a smart object. So now that it's converted to a smart object, I'll go to filter, I'll go to filter gallery, and in filter gallery go to distort, and under distort go to glass. When you're in glass, select glass, then make sure your settings are like mine. Distortion should be 7, smoothness should be 4, the texture should be frosted, and your scaling should be 100. Once all these are done, click on OK, and you can see the glass effect that is here. Alright, now that you have that glass effect, select the two brushes, hold Alt and drag them on top of this layer 1. Right, then select two of them, right click and convert both of them to a smart object. Once you've converted it to a smart object, right, or rather before you convert to a smart object, change the color overlay to this blue. Right, change the color overlay to this blue. Right, so do that for both of them. Once you've changed the color overlay to blue, then you can now right click them and convert both of them to a smart object. Once they have been converted to a smart object, change the blending mode to, I think, linear dodge add, and then duplicate it. Right, so you can see where that effect is coming from. Okay, so now that we have this, you can basically select everything, call it BG, everything apart from the model of the image. Now you can unhide the model of the image. Now on the image, right, with the image selected, with the image of the model selected, you can create a solid color and make it blue. I'll just make it the same blue. I'll just make it a lighter blue. So you can see the hex code. Click on OK. Alright, and then clip it to the model. Then change the blending mode to linear dodge add. Then select the mask and press Ctrl I to invert the mask. And select your brush tool. Make sure it's a soft round brush. Then you can now come towards the edges of her clothes like this and just dab a bit. The places where light should reflect on her clothes because of that glow stuff behind her. Can just go there and dab a little bit of light on her neck, on her face, on her cheeks, on her shirt. And you can press X to change the foreground color to black to erase, some. If you feel it's too extra, if you feel it's too much, right? So just basically as the spirit leads. Okay, yeah. So if you want to change it back to add more, you can press X again. Just add a bit on her head. I think that's pretty okay. If you feel it's too intense, if I hide it, you can see the before and after. If you feel it's too intense, you can reduce the fill a bit. So I'll leave my fill at 85. Okay, I think that's it. Then the next thing is I'll bring in this light flare. Then I'll press Ctrl U to change the color from yellow to kind of blue. I'll leave my hue at -137. Click on OK. Then I'll press Ctrl T, to reduce the size. Then I'll change the blending mode to screen. Yeah. If I hide it, let me see. Okay, it's not giving me what I want. Let's try and play around with the blending mode. Okay, cancel. You know what? I'll remove this I'll leave it on screen. Then now that it's on screen, I'll now press Ctrl U, and yeah, it's still giving me the same thing. Okay, I'll leave it at 180. Yeah, I'll leave it at 180. Then I can duplicate it and I'll drop it here. Okay, they're actually supposed to be these two. I'll bring these two behind her like this. Right. So one on each light stuff basically behind her. Okay, so we have our light glow effect. Then I'll select her image. I'll go to filter. I'll go to camera raw filter. Just basically make her image pop out a bit. So I increase the contrast. I'll go to calibration and increase saturation under blue primary. Go to effects, increase texture, and I increase sharpening under detail. And yeah, okay. You can see the clear improvements in her picture. Okay, so I'm going to select all that and I'll call it subject. Now after that is done, I'll bring in the Moniepoint logo. Yeah, and I'll place it somewhere here. Okay, I don't know if you guys just noticed that difference. The canvas, my work was a bit dull. I actually noticed that I mistakenly changed it to CMYK. So if I press Ctrl Y, you can see that it has the color has left. It's now on CMYK. If I press Ctrl Y again, now it's on RGB. So that time I was trying to adjust the hue of the lens flare, that yellow lens flare. It was looking weird because I know the color was off. That's why I was trying to struggle. But I realized that the problem was I mistakenly changed it to CMYK, right? So if you press Ctrl Y, you can change between CMYK and RGB. So make sure yours is on RGB to actually get a proper color because we are not designing for print, so we're designing for screen. All right. So let's continue. So I'm going to place my Moniepoint logo somewhere here. All right, and I'll bring in a guide by clicking and dragging from the roller. Left click and drag from the roller to bring in a guide. Then now that we have that, I'll open this text to see what my headline is, and yeah, so I'll copy this headline. The font I use is called Proxima Nova and is available in the description box, so I'll paste it. The font is already selected. I'll change the size to 119 and I'll make it bold and I'll align it to the left. Or should I just align it to the center? I actually did two versions when I designed it originally. I think I'll use the center. So let me remove this guide. I'll align everything to the center. I'll reduce my line spacing a bit. I'll leave line spacing at 111. Alright, then I'll go and copy the subtext. I'll change it from bold to regular. I'll reduce it to like 40. Centralize it as well. And the last thing will be to bring in the download call to action. Sorry, so these are the both of them. What I'm going to do is I'll create another rectangle to mimic their size, or rather I'll just duplicate one more. I'll select 3 of them, press Ctrl T. I duplicated only one. Press Ctrl T, I'll reduce their size. Drag it down. The size is not small enough. So duplicate it like this. Then I'll drag it apart. Then I'll select 3 of them, click on this distribute horizontally, right? Then I'll press Ctrl G. I'll centralize them. You might be wondering why I did 3, it's not supposed to be 2. Well, I want to use one of them to write the call to action itself. So this first one, I'll click on FX color overlay. I'll change it to blue. Then I'll select my text tool. I'll go and copy get the app. Yeah, I'll make it all caps. So I'll use the regular. Now press Ctrl T. And I'll reduce the size. Let me zoom in. I'll reduce the size properly. Then I'll hold Ctrl and click on that rectangle, and then I'll now centralize, get the app inside it properly. Then press Ctrl D to deselect. And yeah, we have our call to action at the bottom. So I'll label this group CTA. And I'll select this other 3, press Ctrl D to make it a group and call it text and logo. Okay, so now we have everything. What is left is to edit it. So while selecting the topmost layer, press Ctrl Shift Alt E to create a snapshot of all the layer. Right click on it and convert it to a smart object, and then you can now go to filter, go to camera raw filter for a little bit of editing. In here I'm going to go to light, increase contrast, of course. I'll go to effects, a little bit of texture, a little bit of grain, a little bit reduce vignette, a little bit. I'll go to curve, play around with these curves just a little bit. Increase the sharpening, reduce noise reduction. Go to color mixer, increase the aquas, and click on OK. And with that, we have come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope you learned something new, and if you did, let me know in the comment section and let me know what you learned. If there's any question you have, also let me know in the comment section, and you can check out the other videos that I've made, and of course subscribe to this channel because more amazing content is going to be coming your way. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.